Can we work it out? Only time will tell. It's gonna take a lot, because we've been through it.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I feel like it's been a while since I talked to you the last time. It's been about almost 2 weeks since my infusion, and so many things have happened. Like, I have so many things to update you guys on, both like medical things and regarding my MS and like, you know, personal stuff. But I thought we would have a big catch up this morning. First, I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of my new members. I think we are around 12 people in the group now, and I think it's very exciting. We have decided that we are gonna do a live stream shortly or soon. We have decided that we're gonna do it 10 o'clock in the morning, my time. I'm just gonna let you guys know of a date, and I'm asking you to keep a lookout on the tab for like my not the community tab, but next to it where I post updates and things. I will announce the date there. But I also wanted to fill you guys in like how I'm doing post-infusion, and I'm having a few reactions, nothing major. I am breaking out. I normally get like the first month after my infusion, my skin always breaks out, and I have like pimples everywhere. I break out in like acne on my chest and my back, which is not very nice. It's not a lot, but it's enough to annoy me. And I get really like dry patches on my eyes. I don't know if you can tell, but they get red and very dry. But that's about it. I also mentioned to you that they were gonna start testing me for if I'm allergic to corticosteroids, and we have started the testing. I will insert a photo of me when they did the prick test, like they did on one arm. They did the allergic test where they poke you with needles and to see if you have a reaction to the various substances that they put on your skin. And so I had one arm with like basic stuff like urticaria, if I have like allergic to like animals, pets, whatever things. And then on the other arm I had purely medications, and I was showing allergic reactions on both arms. And I will insert a picture, and you can see that on my left arm I'm experiencing 4 out of the 10 needle points I'm having a reaction. Nothing super alarming, but I am experiencing a reaction, and those are corticosteroids. But as my doctor told me, she was like, I really don't want you to be allergic to corticosteroids, because I felt a little bit like, not gaslit, but when we were doing the tests, you could clearly see on my right arm that I was allergic to cats and to dogs and various things, which I didn't realize, but you could see that those skin reactions were a little bit more red and a little bit more prominent than the ones on the left arm. And so she was like, this is borderline negative to me, and I felt like I wasn't really agreeing with her, but I didn't say anything. I just swallowed my thoughts and I let the process run its course, and then I listened to her by the end of the day. And she runs some blood work as well, and she she did loads of different things. But when it was all finished, like, she agreed that I was having a reaction, and she compared. So if you compared like the first line on the left arm with the first dot and then the 4 following, you can see that there is more reaction there and nothing on the other ones, which shows that yes, there is a reaction. And she said that she's not comfortable with taking me off the corticosteroids, because that's basically the only thing they have to treat me if I suffer from an attack. So that makes sense. And then she said what we're gonna do is that we're gonna have another day where you come in and you're gonna have to like swallow, I don't know what that's like, ingest the various things that we're testing you for, to see which one your body reacts to more than the other. And then based off of that, maybe they will decide like in future, if I have a future attack and they need to treat me with corticosteroids, or during my infusions they will then opt for the corticosteroid that I am having a lesser reaction to, if that makes sense. And I'm very happy with that. Like, I'm pleased with that outcome. One, because my instincts are correct. Two, because hopefully they can, you know, have a game plan for me so I don't have to suffer as severely during. And then three, like, I feel like they were actively trying to help me. I felt like they were actively trying to make a difference, and that makes me feel, you know, seen, and it helps. And then she said that we were talking a little bit about my urticaria, or like my rash issue that I have. So if I get really anxious, or if I get very stressed, or but not only, like, but also I break out in hives, and it's very evident. You guys have seen it on the camera, and it's not only when I'm ingesting like medicines. So because first she was like, well, that's anxiety, I have that too. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not though, because I don't have anxiety at the moment, and as you can see, I have broken out in hives. And she agreed. And then I said, if you go back in my history and look at the diagnosis I got 2017, where they said that I had chronic urticaria, I don't believe that that was the only thing that was happening to me. And I asked her if I could share a theory that I have. I didn't want to like put words in her mouth. I wanted her to do her investigation and make a conclusion. But I asked her when everything was said and done, I said, I have a theory. When I look at my clinical history, this is what I think. What do you think about that? And she said, so I was referring to the MCAS syndrome, which is something that I believe I've had all my life. But I didn't know what it was at the time. And she confirms, she went back to 2017 because she was my doctor then, and she was like, yeah, I've written it down in your chart that I was suspecting that back in 2017. But she started me on a medication I had to take, like monthly shots to calm down the symptoms of the urticaria. And I was on that for about 6 months or more, and then when the symptoms got better, I just stopped taking it, and I didn't want to go back to her. So we never like continued with that investigation, if that makes sense. But she has now prescribed me 2 medicines, so I have 2 new medications that I'm starting to try and combat that. And she said, before we know for sure, I will give you this treatment for your urticaria and for your hives and all of that, and to see if that helps. And she says, if you in fact suffer from MCAS syndrome, then this would be the exact same treatment for that. So it will be interesting to know and to see if that's making a difference. So I have to come back and see her in a few weeks time. We're gonna evaluate, and I have to stop taking that medicine 5 days prior, because we're gonna do the testing that I just mentioned regarding like my intolerance or allergic reactions to the corticosteroids. And she says, if you're on this treatment during that test, like, we won't know for sure, so you need to make sure that you stop it 5 days beforehand. Whew. So that's coming up, and that's happening. And then a fun fact I mentioned in my last video, I felt like this infusion marked like a new beginning for me. I felt like deeply that I wanted to have a fresh start, and the following day, so the day after my infusion, I actually went back to the gym. I know, can't believe it myself. I went with a friend, I had my cane, and I did some really basic stuff, and I was sitting down the entire time. But I went and I felt so good for it, and I've been consistent going ever since, and it's fun. Like, I feel like I'm getting a part back of myself that I think that I had lost, and I'm getting some joy back thanks to it. Yeah, so I really wanted to share that. And then we have so many like wedding stuff going on. I'm thinking of not starting a wedding series, but I think it could be fun maybe for you to follow that part of my life as well. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep that for just the members or if I'm gonna have that open to everyone, not sure. But before I leave you for today, I wanted to give you guys a sneak peek. So I won't get into too much detail, but in this little box lies a test that could potentially unlock my entire medical, like, I don't know, like history, future. In here I have a genetic test screening that I'm gonna do, and with that I'm hoping to get a lot of the answers that I haven't been able to get through like the traditional healthcare system here yet. And depending on what the outcome is, like, I will share the journey with you, but I'll have that as a separate video. But I just wanted to like tease it a little bit because I've been waiting for this since the beginning of the year, and I'm very excited to learn about myself, like my genes, and what like potential illnesses that I have that I don't know about, or that I have like a higher risk of developing, and what to do to like prevent those kinds of things. I think could be really interesting, but I'm not gonna share anything detail like the name of the company or anything yet, because I want to make sure that, you know, it's that it works. Like, I don't want to tell you about something that I'm not sure of, but I'm documenting the journey because I think it's quite fascinating, and I'm sure you would too. So thank you for tuning in today, friends, and I will see you guys in my next video. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe. I share everything that has to do with my MS and chronic illness journey here, and yeah, the more the merrier. So please join the channel, join the members group, and I'll see you guys soon. Much love.